Hi everybody, thanks for having us here at this presentation. This is the first presentation for Cooper Metals, an Australian-based copper gold explorer planning to list on the ASX in October this year. Now we have three exciting projects to talk about today and we'll get right into it. There's a disclaimer, of course, that you can read when you download the presentation from our website. So what's the investment opportunity for Cooper Metals? Cooper Metals has a strong copper and gold focus in Queensland and WA over three projects. Now, with the copper price reaching 10 years highs and strong fundamentals driven by the electrical vehicle market, it is a really good place to be. It's a great commodity and so is gold. So our three projects, our flagship project is at Mount Isa East. It has multiple copper gold targets from early stage to near drill ready. Our Yamana Gold project in WA is just a long strike from the Gruyere, world-class Gruyere gold deposit at the Yamana Greenstone Belt. The Guru Gold project is only 20 kilometres from the Deflector copper and gold deposit in WA in the Murchison region. We'll have significant news flow planned for when the IPO starts. The IPO intends to raise $5 million at 20 cents, 40 million shares at 20 cents, which is 66% cash backing. We'll have a tight capital structure with a low EV, which means we'll be well leveraged to exploration success. We've got a very strong team with a track record of discovery and also of development. So just getting into the project summary. Now it's taken about 6 months to compile these projects. We really had three main criteria when we were looking for projects. Criteria one was something that complemented the team's skill set, copper gold, domestic exploration in Australia. Number two was strong prospectivity, so known mineralised terrains, underexplored tenement packages. And number three was something that really had high value, so something that we could acquire at a fairly low vend rate so that shareholders were leveraged to success. So going through the three projects, the flagship Mount Isa East Copper Gold project is in the world-class Mount Isa Elyar. We've got a very large tenement package there, 1,300 square kilometres. It's prospective for iron oxide copper gold and shear-hosted copper gold deposits. Moving over to WA, our Yamana Gold project, as I said, is a long strike from the world-class Gruyere gold deposit, which is over 6 million ounces of gold. And lastly, the Guru Gold project in WA in the Murchison region is in the Gulliver Greenstone Belt, not far from Deflector copper gold deposit. We've got 26 kilometres of Greenstone Belt there to explore that's never been touched. The board of directors, it's a small board. We've got three people. Michael Frayne, our chairman, is a geologist and a qualified accountant with over 30 years experience in the resources industry, in the financial markets and in resource companies. Tim Armstrong, which I've worked with, I should say, for a few years, is in the financial markets. He's well plugged into the capital markets in Sydney and WA. And myself, a geologist with around 30 years experience in international and domestic exploration in a range of commodities. One of the highlights of my career has been Joint Explorer of the Year for mineral sands deposits in South Australia, and those deposits are being mined today and will be for a long time. So in the last 10 years, I've worked in the junior sector. I've worked for companies like Musgrave Minerals and Marmota, and more recently with 27 Co, where I worked with Tim Armstrong. When the opportunity came up to start a new company with a copper gold focus, working with Tim and Michael, I jumped at the opportunity. So our indicative timeline is the independent geologist report has been written. We're just finalising the prospectus and we plan to be hitting the listing on the ASX in October and hitting the ground running also in October at our Mount Isa East project. The proposed IPO structure is 40 million shares at 20 cents for $8 million market cap, which gives us an enterprise value of about $3 million, which is quite low, which means that shareholders are extremely leveraged to success. Now, the flagship project, the Mount Isa East project, is in a proven copper gold province. It's located in the world-class Mount Isa Elyar. It's targeting IOCG and shear-hosted copper and gold, over 1,300 square kilometres of tenure, multiple third-party options or processing options. Glencore is processing third-party ore at the moment. There's 5 tenements in total, 3 are granted, 2 are ELAs. A strong network of shear zones and structures with over 10 copper gold prospects already identified for us to follow up. Just zooming in a bit more detail, it's the right address. There's a geology map here, and you can see there's the western fold belt and the eastern fold belt in the east, and we're right down the centre in what they call the Kalkadoon Leichhardt belt, and there's numerous deposits, copper gold deposits in that belt. One of the more notable ones is the Barbara copper gold deposit. It's about 4.7 million tonnes at 1.6% copper and with some gold as well. And you don't need a huge deposit to make money here because you've got the third-party processing options. If you can get a series of satellite deposits, you can really add some value. And our tenements, so you can see a geology map there. We've already identified 5 priority camp scale targets, which are shown on the map there. And they range from old workings, like at the Big Hill prospect, where there's an open cut of around 140 metres long, 15 metres deep. The old timers mined out the oxide ore. They've never explored underneath it. Soil anomalism does exist along strike, and we'll be following that up. Another example is our King Solomon Mount Zuzi trend. Mount Zuzi is 6 kilometre long copper and soil anomaly with very strong copper anomalism, up to 1,500 ppm copper. There has been some historical drilling there in the 90s, 2 metres at 1.1% copper from a 46 metres. So they're really strong results with over 2.5 grams gold, and really strong results that have never really been followed up. There's a number of other copper and soil anomalies there to follow up, and we intend to get on the ground in October and get it drill ready as quickly as possible. Now, moving over to WA, our Yamana gold project in WA. I'm really excited about this one. It's about 140 kilometres east of Laverton in the Yamana terrain. There's 2 greenstone belts there. There's the Yamana greenstone belt and also the Dorothy Hills greenstone belt. Now, we have 2 ELAs in that area, which should be granted in the next few months. One of the tenements is right along strike from the Gruyere gold deposit, and I'm just about to zoom in to show you details about that. So zooming in, you can see our large tenement there shown with the black outline. The Gruyere gold deposit I'm just pointing to there. It's only less than 5 kilometres south of our tenure or our ELA. Now, the Gruyere gold deposit, it's on the Dorothy Hills shear zone, and it's a 6 million ounce deposit. It's a substantial deposit. The Dorothy Hills shear zone continues onto our ground. You can see we've got over 5 kilometres of strike length through our ground, which has had hardly any drill testing at all. So this is a really underexplored tenement in a very strongly mineralised belt. And also, this belt was only, the Gruyere gold deposit was only discovered in 2013. So relatively, the Yamana sort of gold terrain is a relatively new gold terrain in WA. Moving further to the west now, to the Murchison region in the Gulliwa Greenstone Belt, is our Guru Gold project. Now, it's not far from Deflector Mine, about 26 kilometres away. Deflector Mine, owned by Silver Lake, has around 1.3 million ounces of gold, very high grade, 13.5 grams per tonne gold, and a substantial amount of copper mineralisation as well. So the tenement is well located to infrastructure. It's in a known mineralised terrain. Now, interestingly, you can see our tenement outlined there in yellow. The Geological Survey of WA reinterpreted the greenstones for this area last year based on some new geophysical information. Now, the greenstones in this area under shallow cover And so it's hardly had any exploration. When they reinterpreted the greenstone boundary, they've moved it further south here. And we saw where we got in there as an early first mover advantage, took the tenement out. It's had hardly any work on it. It's now granted, so we can get in there and do some rapid RAB drilling, lines across there. We've already identified a number of targets in the geophysics to follow up on. So that's a really exciting opportunity as well. So the key takeaways for Cooper Metals are these. It's a new copper gold explorer with 3 highly prospective copper gold projects in Queensland and WA. It's all in underexplored tenure in proven mineralised terrains. We have a very low EV, so that gives the opportunity for the share price to be highly leveraged to any exploration success. We plan to list on the ASX in October this year. We've got a strong pipeline of early stage targets to follow up. We'll have year-round news flow from these 3 project areas. Thanks for your attention. Look, the aim is to get to drilling as quickly as possible. So that will be on our flagship Mount Isa East project. So we're using these next couple of months to refine our targets, do some more desktop work. Then we'll have a little bit of geochemistry and geophysics to do to really pinpoint those drill holes, and we'll be drilling as soon as possible at Mount Isa East as soon as we come on market. Also, we'll be we have a granted tenement in WA at our Guru project there, so we're very keen to get in there and do some RAB drilling across some areas that we've identified as highly prospective. And in our Yamana project, we'll be working on the ground there to get that drill ready as quickly as possible. So there should be a lot of news flow coming out in that first 3 months.